Hello, everyone. I am Fyruz Khan, and today I'm back with a brand new class. Today I have Business Studies Edexcel, Chapter 18, Leadership, and we have planned to finish this chapter today. We intend to finish this chapter today. So yes, there we go. So before we start, I just want to recap and show you what we've done so far. Because I think there were some gaps in between 2 days. We're having this class after 2 days, so I just want you to reconnect with the material. So leadership, very interesting chapter. Yes. So in the last class, we talked about the difference between management and leadership. We've talked about, what manager does, what does management mean, how is it different than leadership, what extra role does leaders have? Yes, and then we saw different pictures of leaders, and we compared them with each other, right? Every leader is different. Every leader has different qualities. Okay, so we looked at these leaders, yes, and then the common traits. They have some common traits, and these are the common traits that they all have. If you check with the pictures, they all have these traits. Um, and then, most importantly, what you have to remember is what is autocratic leadership style? What does it mean? What is democratic leadership style? What is, laissez-faire and paternalistic leadership style, right? How they are used, when they're used, in what situation you're going to use them. Um, because different leadership style has different specialities, and you can use them in different situation, in different kind of companies, in different kind of organizations. Yes. So do think about that. Autocratic is one way. Autocratic, one way communication. So autocratic would be more applicable in army, police, public services, government offices, right? Where the decision comes from the expert. Yeah, there we go. Democratic is mostly used in most modern companies, in banks and marketing companies, where there's a two-way communication. Everyone is involved. Yes, and democratic is very popular. Then you have paternalistic, where the word paternalistic comes from paternal. Paternal means father. So what father does is that they will listen to you, but they will do their own thing. Yes, okay. So paternalistic leaders will listen to all the employees, but then they will make their own decision. Yes. So yeah, and then we had laissez-faire. Laissez-faire is you have complete freedom, and this is more applicable for the music industry, the film industry, research centers, design studios. Yeah. So today we start with moving from entrepreneur to leader. Let me um, put on the slideshow. Give me 1 minute. uh, okay, I hope you can see. This should change in a bit. Okay. So, moving from entrepreneur to leader, it's a very interesting topic. Okay. So, this means that, when you set up a business, the business is quite small, right? Probably you'll have 5 to 10 employees or 15 employees. You will not have a lot to do. And slowly, the business will expand. And when the business expands, your role also changes. Okay. Your role becomes much more diverse. You're not involved in small activities or small jobs. No, you don't do that. Okay. What happens is you plan strategies, you plan visions, and you ask people to do it. So your role as a um, business person will also change when the business expands. I think I should give me 1 minute. I uh, I just need to. Okay, I hope. Yeah, now it's on the presentation mode. Okay, great. So when the business expands, your role will change. Okay, because for example, let's say when your business was small, you were involved in making, let's say, decisions on what kind of pages you want to buy for your printer or what kind of printer do you want to buy. But now your business has expanded. Let's say you have 4 or 5 branches. Now you won't be able to take those decisions because those decisions are not so important. You should be taking more essential decisions. So those things, buying printers or selecting pages, those things will be decided by the managers that you hire or by the people that you hire. Okay. So your role will change. Let me give you an example. Okay. How business changes. For example, this is a coffee shop, a small coffee shop. This coffee shop has, let's say, 10 employees or 15 employees, let's say. And in this kind of business, as you can see, it's a very cozy environment, a small environment. The manager or the founder or the entrepreneur of this coffee shop, the founder, the owner of this coffee shop, can do a lot of work on their own, right? So they have, because it's a small coffee shop, they can take care of their employees. They can look at operations. They can take marketing department, HR department, do strategy on their own and be involved in each and every decision because it's a small coffee shop. It has only 15 employees. You can keep personal relationship or you can have personal touch with customers. You're more involved with the business, yes, because it's a small coffee shop. It's in a local neighborhood, okay, and you just have one branch, and these things are possible, right? Yeah, and I love these kind of coffee shops. It's so cozy. You can just take your laptop, work, read a book. Yeah, and this kind of business has a lot of motivation because it's small. Everybody is connected. Everybody works together as a family. But is it going to be the same for Starbucks? That's the question. Is it going to be the same for Starbucks? Absolutely not. 100% not. Starbucks alone has 3,000 branches or 3,000 coffee stores in China. I have no count of America. But, they must be having thousands of stores in America. But it's not going to be like that. Now, the founder or let's say, the CEO or an entrepreneur will not be able to maintain personal relationship with each and every customer or with each and every employee, right? It's not possible at all, because they have thousands and thousands of branches. So the role is going to be different than the role portrayed here. So you will be, as an entrepreneur as a, let's say, a CEO of Starbucks, you will create strategies, you will create objectives, and designate jobs to lower level managers, right? So that's what you're going to do. And that's how it's going to work. Now, if you want to, if you want to look after each and every employee or look after each and every, let's say, customers of Starbucks, then you're just being unrealistic. There are thousands of people walk into Starbucks every day. They have so much of foot traffic. It's not possible. বাইরের দেশে ইউনিভার্সিটির ক্যাম্পাসের ভিতরে স্টারবাকস থাকে। আমার ইউনিভার্সিটির ভিতরে ছিল একটা না, দুইটা স্টারবাকস ছিল, right? So Starbucks is the way you are going to control Starbucks as a founder will be different. So there will be a transition when you are moving from small to big business, right? There will be a transition. Uh, you have to let things go. I know it is a bit, it may be uncomfortable for a lot of them, but as it grows, you have to release, you have to designate jobs. For example, in my case, I'm a very hands-on entrepreneur or hands-on, let's say, founder. But I know if it, I mean, if everything goes well, if FES becomes big, I have to let things go. Otherwise, you won't be able to control big organizations. When you want to scale up the process, it is not going to be possible, right? So today's lesson objective is moving from small to big businesses. What are the changes happens? We will talk about that. Okay. And these are the four things that we're going to look at. So we'll talk about the changes that happens from moving from small to big businesses, and then difficulties moving from small to big businesses, or solutions, probably most likely. Okay. I think I've made a mistake here. Let's go ahead. So when you have a small business, there's no structure. When you just have 10 employees, the structure is more. I would say the structure is more informal, right? For example, we've talked about organization structures in the previous classes. You don't need to have those kind of structure. Only 10 employees. Only and it's a very close knit environment. You can talk to everyone, and you don't need detailed documentation or regular structured meetings. Okay, because there are few employees, but that is going to change in large organizations. This is okay for 10 or 15 employees, but if you have 100 employees, then everything will change. Okay, you need to have more formality. You need to have structure. Okay, who's at the top, who's at the bottom, how is information going to flow. You will have different departments, different divisions. Okay, because in a small business you may be the single founder or a single owner, but in big businesses, with you there will be directors, managing directors, chairperson. You may have a board of directors. So the game will be a lot different. Yeah. So there you go. So there will be, when you move from big to small to big businesses, you will need formality. Okay, you need to be more formal with meetings. You will need to have different divisions, different departments, different systems. Okay, different people doing different kinds of job. Then comes, you have more responsibility to others. When you have a small business, you have small number of employees. You have to pay less salary, less bonus. Even taking care of them is easy. Okay, but then when you have think about companies like Apple, Google, or Facebook, or let's say Levi's, um, and big brands, they will have 20,000, 30,000, 100,000 employees. And 100,000 employees means so much of responsibility. You have to pay for the salaries, you have to take care of the family, you have to give them fringe benefits, you have to motivate them, right? So it's more responsibility to others, and it is enormous, it's huge. Okay. And you may have responsibility of other shareholders in the company. So it's not just employees, even others. Okay, shareholders, stakeholders, suppliers, your responsibility will increase. So as the business grows from small to big, your responsibility will also grow. Okay. So and don't complain about it. And this is how it happens. If you want to earn a lot of profit, you also have to take a lot of responsibility. Then when you're small, you can focus on the workforce. Let's say you have 10 employees, you can motivate them, you can focus on them, you can talk to them. If there's a problem, you can, easily understand that there's a problem and you can work on it instantly. But that's not the case for a business that has, let's say, 100,000 employees. So you will have a lot more people to manage. They will need encouragement. You need to have well-defined goals. You need to motivate them. You need to pay them salary on time. You need to pay them bonuses. They need to have regular trainings, right? So there are so many things that need to happen. Okay. Um, so yeah, so that is the need for motivation, the need for inspiration, because as an entrepreneur, as a founder, your job is also to motivate and inspire people. So the more people you have, uh, the more again responsibility you have, and the more there is a need for motivation and inspiration, right? Then comes the need for strategy and vision. So, in a small business, uh, you may not have a clear strategy, okay? Or let's say you're more involved with marketing, finance, and administration. And there, let's say in small business, you sometimes do not require well-defined plans or strategies. You can just structure them as you go. But in big businesses where you have 20,000, 30,000, 100,000 employees, um, you need to make strategies. Okay, you need to have and all the groundwork. People looking at different departments will be taken over by departmental heads or specialists. As an entrepreneur, you will be defining, you will be creating strategies. Okay, we want to increase market share by 15%. If we want to do that, or if we want to increase our sales revenue, or we want to increase our profit, now if we want to do that, what do we have to do? You are the one who designed those strategies. Okay, we do this, we do that, and these are the things that we should do. You design them and give it to the managers, give it to the employees, give it to the lower subordinates, and they will do it for you. Okay, that's how it happens. Okay, the need for strategy and vision. If you have any question, please do not hesitate to ask me. You can put down on the section here, and we can talk about it. Right. Um, so yes, the need for strategy and vision. The difficulties in developing from an entrepreneur to leader. So, what are the difficulties that you're faced? This is a second topic that we're going to focus on. So, we finished the first bit here, moving from small to big businesses. So, you need to think about the need for formality. You need to think about responsibility. You need to think about motivation and inspiration, and you need to think about strategy and vision. Now, what are the difficulties that you will face from moving from small to big businesses? Let's talk about it. First thing is adapting the mindset. Okay. Now, the entrepreneurs of small businesses, they will have more control over life, career, and destiny. They will do things in their own way, but in big businesses, it doesn't happen in that way. The culture will be very different. As I said, you will only take the major decisions. You will only take you'll be involved with designing strategies and taking decisions which are very, very, very important, very crucial for the business. And the rest of the things will have to be delegated. Delegated means passing of jobs. Okay. So you have to believe that specialists, departmental heads, managers, supervisors will do a better job, and give it out to them, and you can focus on things that are more important. Okay, so you need to adapt that mindset. The culture is going to be different. Running a small business and running a big business are running two different separate businesses entirely. The culture, the mindset, the way everything happens, operations, everything is different. So you need to prepare yourself. Okay, now let's say I'm managing 20,000 employees instead of 10 employees. So you need to delegate tasks. You need to be more formal, and you need to have a certain kind of mindset, that what I was talking about. Next is stress. Running a small or big businesses, running any kind of businesses is stress. Ask me. Before I started my business or organization, whatever you can say, I used to sleep peacefully. There was no snoring, but after I started the business, I snore a lot, and people complain, and this is because due to stress, you have so much of things to take care of. Your employees, your bills, you may have bank loan, and you also need to keep the operations running. Think about clients, think about customers, think about experience, think about meetings. It's endless. Okay. And now it even it's going to be more if you have a very big business. If you have, let's say, 20,000 employees, uh, your your responsibility will increase at a massive level. Okay. So you will be stressed, and be prepared for that, because there may be different situations. You may have a loan, you have to pay that. You may have more staff. Staff means more responsibility. In a big business, you are not running the business alone. You're not. There will be more people with you. Okay, there'll be six, seven people with you running the business. There'll be a chairperson. There may be a president, a vice president. There may be board of directors. Okay, so there may be conflict. There may be arguments. There may be disagreements. But that's how big businesses run. And I give you an example, right? Steve Jobs was thrown away from his own company. He was removed from his own company because he had clash, he had conflict with the board of directors. Um, yeah, there you go. So think about that. Yes. Yeah. So there'll be stress. So be prepared to take stress. If you want to run a business, whether it's small or big, be prepared to take stress. Okay. Sharing ownership and control. Now, in a small business, you are the sole founder or sole owner or sole person to take care of things. But in a big business, everything is is going to be different. Okay, because in a big business there will be more people involved with you. There'll be five, six people involved with you. As I said, there may be board of directors, there will be a chairperson, a CEO, director. It goes on. So there will be a loss of control. Ownership is shared, decisions will be made together. Okay. And this will cause conflict, so be prepared for that. So as you grow, uh, you know decisions will be shared. You will not have 100% control. Okay, because let's say you may sell some shares of your company, you may have more people involved in your business, because it's a big business. You can't run it alone. Okay. um, then you also need to have trust, because in big businesses you are delegating jobs, you are giving people to do things for you. So in that case, you need to be optimistic. You need to trust people and start delegating jobs. Okay? You need to behave like a theory Y manager. Theory Y manager means, it's there in the motivation chapter. Um, Theory Y manager means uh, they're optimistic and they believe their employees, and they trust them. They feel that their employees can do tasks independently. So you need to trust people, because sometimes uh, you know uh, founders will not trust the junior subordinates and the employees, and that's how it is. Okay. There you go. There also may be a sense of insecurity, like the CEO may be insecure to delegate jobs because that person may be better than him. I don't know. It happens. Okay, so you need to trust people. and start delegating jobs. Sometimes when you start your own business, and it's very common, it's a very, very important topic. When I started my own business, I wasn't aware, I did not have the necessary leadership skills. No, absolutely not. I made a lot of mistakes, I made a lot of fault, and I learned it on the way. Okay. So when you start, you may lack leadership skills and qualities. You may not have the right management skills, you may not have the right communication skills or problem solving skills or decision making and organization skills. You may not have that, and that's completely okay because you're a newcomer. I mean, you should not be expected to know all of these. These things come after an experience of 10, 15, 20 years. So once the business grows, your skills will also grow. Okay. um, and again, when the business grows, the skills will also need to grow with the business, because now you have to scale up the operations. When it's a small business, things are easy. When you scale it up মানে সবকিছু যখন বড় করে করবে, okay. Instead of 10 employees, you'll have 20,000 employees. Instead of one branch, you'll have 20 branches. Instead of making, let's say, 1,000 units, you'll make 30,000 units of phones. Everything will be different. So scaling up may be a challenge. Communication process will be a challenge. Um, uh, what else? Distribution channel may be a challenge. Right? So think about this too, right? Um, so lack of leadership qualities and scaling up, okay. And of course, you may have to be prepared. You may have to meet with other politicians, other leaders, so you have to be prepared. Okay, so lack of leadership qualities, but it happens. Okay. I feel that leaders, yes, leaders are not born, and leaders are made, because yeah, leaders may be born, but you need to practice it. You always need to continuously improve yourself. Okay. And you will be good to go. Then, for example, let me give you some examples. So we have two pictures here of WhatsApp and Instagram, and it's a very good example. Now, why do I have WhatsApp and Instagram here? It's because when they came out initially, they gained a very good response, and they had a lot of users, and they gained a lot of attention. They were doing well. And then later on, they were sold to Facebook. Of course, Facebook bought WhatsApp and Instagram because they're in this social media business and they want to acquire as many companies they can. That's there. Secondly, think about it in the perspective of the owners of WhatsApp and Instagram. They also sold their business because they knew that their business probably was growing at a rapid rate. When it grows in a rapid rate, you need support. Not everyone can handle it. So the founders of Instagram or WhatsApp probably needed more support, because Facebook was when they bought WhatsApp and Instagram, they were huge, and they had very important businessmen in the board. And that's why probably they sold it to Facebook, because they may not have the right skills to manage these companies, but Facebook does. They have a team of really good people and experienced businessmen, and therefore they sold it. Because yes, they started something good, they were managing, but scaling up production, scaling up the business is quite a challenge, and not everybody can do it. And you will see a lot of startup, when they're successful in the first 3, 4, 5 years, they may sell their business to other big businesses, because this is to help scaling their operations. Because বড় business সবাই control করতে পারে না, right? And WhatsApp and Instagram also had the similar strategy, where they sold their businesses to Facebook to get that additional support. Okay, because as an entrepreneur, you may not have the right qualities, or as a business, you may not have the right skills or knowledge or direction. Okay, so yeah, there you go. Now, overcoming difficulties, if you want to overcome solutions, let's say, you need to trust people, you need to delegate jobs, trust them and give them things to do. Don't just do all the things by yourself. Have good people around you, have good employees around you, and they will do it for you. Okay, so that's that. Earn respect. Okay, earn respect. um, be fair, be hardworking, right? Be open, be honest, and people will coordinate with you. People will be motivated. People will work with you. Okay, so that's the second solution. Third solution: maturity and experience will make you a better leader, as I was talking about. Okay, and so wait for that time. So it may be a lengthy one, it may take 10, 15 years, but then wait for that time. So with maturity, with experience, you'll become a better leader. When I see myself, I've grown so much in the last 5 years. I've learned so many things, and I'm definitely a better entrepreneur, and I will be a better entrepreneur even after 5, 6 years, because businesses and entrepreneurship teaches you a lot of things. Okay, education, always upgrade yourself. Nowadays, there are so many online courses available. Yes, um, you can go to Future Learn, you can go to Coursera, do some courses that may help you in your business. Specialist courses, educate yourself. Not only that, you can read books. You can read books, okay, and try to develop the skills. For example, a few days back, I did a course from University of Cambridge. It's a teacher certification course, and it took me a month to do it, but I did it because I need to grow. So education, if you think that, oh, finish my studies and now I'm a businessman, I don't need to imbibe knowledge, I don't need to learn. No, learning does not stop. You can learn by reading books, you can do courses, universities, you can go to university to do a master's program, to do a part-time PhD. And this is why you have part-time programs and evening programs. That's why you have it, because there are a lot of entrepreneurs who wants to study after business hours. Okay, nowadays there are a lot of online courses. FutureLearn.com, Coursera.com. These are good places to learn. So let's say you have a photography studio, you can do a small course online that will help you. So education, if you want to overcome difficulties, educate yourself. You can study about management, you can study about negotiation, you can study about communication, about decision making skills. Additional languages can be learned. Okay, so yeah, report writing skills, IT skills, it's endless. Like, I learned how to edit video a few days back, a few months back, actually 4 5 months back. So as an entrepreneur, you always need to learn, always. Okay, and you have to reduce your stress level. You cannot be stressed. Okay, share your feelings. Like, if you talk about people like Tim Cook or Elon Musk, they have a very good routine. Not Elon Musk, Tim Cook. He sleeps at 7 or 8 o'clock, wakes up at 3 4 a.m. He has a good balanced diet, he goes and exercise. I'm sure he shares feelings with others, right? Think about, you have to do all these things as an entrepreneur. You have to be very disciplined. If you're not disciplined, you cannot run a business. Sleep on time, sleep at 10, 11, or 12 o'clock, waking up at 7, 8 o'clock, going to office by 9, 9:30, and having a breakfast on time. Everything should be routine, and that's how I follow my life. Everything is routine. সকালবেলা উঠে মুখ ধুয়ে গোসল করে ফেলা, and then কাজের ঠিক স্লটস থাকে আমার। আচ্ছা, এখন এই ক্লাস, এখন এইটা, আমি এখন এটা করব, রিপোর্ট লিখবো, ভিডিও এডিট করব। So that's how it happens. Okay, um, also avoid alcohol, drugs, tobacco. Sorry, give me a minute. Alcohol, avoid alcohol, drugs, and tobacco. If you get into those, you can never run a business, because it intoxicates you, it hallucinates you. Because when you run a business, you need to be absolutely focused. Yes. Um, take regular exercises. Take regular exercises. Okay. Have a balanced work lifestyle. Take holidays. Just again, you should not just work every day or 24 hours for 6 months. Take a break with your family. It helps you to rejuvenate your energy. It helps you to regain your energy. Before COVID, after every 4 or 5 months, I used to take small breaks for 5 6 days. My student knows, and that helps me to calm down. It helps me to think about the future. It helps me to think about the business in general. Okay, right? So we have finished the chapter, which is great. Definitions are here. If you have any questions, please do ask me. Okay. Another thing is planning. Yes, Zavir, planning, right? Planning. You need to do a lot of planning. I agree with you. Every step. Um, you need to think at least 5 years ahead. You need to always think. You always need to be ahead of your game. 5 বছর পর কি হবে এটা তোমার জানতে হবে. As an entrepreneur, that's how it works. Okay, so it was a very interesting lesson, and I think the way we have designed it was also nice. So we talked about the journey from being an entrepreneur, from a small business to become a leader. Okay, I've given you examples of a small coffee shop and a very big coffee shop. Okay, so there you go. And then we talked about moving from small to big businesses, and difficulties. Okay, so we talked about what you should do when you move from small to big businesses. The need for formality, greater responsibility to others, the need for motivation, inspiration, need for strategy and vision. Difficulties, adapting the mindset is a difficult job. There's a lot of stress. You have to share ownership and control, trust issues. Okay, there may be lack of leadership qualities because you just have started, and it's completely fine. You don't need to be overwhelmed. You just have started. You need to figure out things. And we've talked about WhatsApp and Instagram. They were sold at a very early stage because they were scaling up their businesses, and they needed support of Facebook. Okay, so yeah. And then overcoming difficulties is you can do delegation, trust people, earn respect, maturity and experience, education, and reduce stress. Okay. If you have any questions, please do ask me. We finished this chapter. Please do the questions. So there we go. Please do not hesitate to subscribe like our Facebook page, Fyruz Education Services. Subscribe to our YouTube channel on YouTube, of course. Again, Fyruz Education Services. So yeah, there you go. Thank you very much. I'll be back in the next class with a new chapter. Yes. And if you have any questions, comment below. Okay, I will take your question and answer it. Thank you very much.